All right. We're back to talk about Chapter 16, The Rescue of the Mandalorian, Episode 8, Season 2, the finale. I'm Paul, and with me is Hank.
Hello. I'm Hank.
There is a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it. This episode starts off with the Slave One and Boba Fett targeting the ship, or like a shuttle or whatever, that the doctor shuttle that we saw a few episodes ago that needs the blood from the child.
Dr. Pershing.
That's doing like experiment. Pershing, yes, thank you. Is on, and they kind of like take out the engine, board, kill the two Imperial officers. Well, one of the Imperial officers kills the other one.
One of them's like, yeah, we're like, Dr. Pershing's like, you're not gonna fight back, and one of them's like, why? I don't want to die. You fucking kidding me?
And then he gets shot in the back.
And then the other really dude dumb. Is like puts a gun to Pershing's head. It's like, fucking back off. Yeah. And the other dude's like, I'm not with him. We can make a deal. And that dude shoots him. It's so good.
It's so dumb. Yeah. There's a really weird standoff moment where the dude with the gun to Pershing's head is like taunting Cara Dune, who is like telling him to put the gun down, and like just has a bead on his forehead essentially with her gun. And
he's
saying something about
blowing up Alderaan,
how they cheered when when Alderaan exploded, and a bunch of terrorists and blah blah blah. And then she just shoots him, and then that's kind of how the episode starts.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I guess like the funny thing there that I want to talk about is she says something about he saw the destruction of the terrorist planet or whatever on the Death Star, and she's like, which one?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And he like acts like he's like, very funny. It's like, but which one though?
Yeah, it's like, actually though.
I mean, only one of them blew up Alderaan, so I assume it was the first one.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted just to say quick was like how fucking much better, like, just the regular, these like small scale ship battles like in this episode are than like anything in the new like the new trilogy was dropped the ball so hard on just the space battle stuff. On
everything. This show has shown me so so I didn't kind of mind some of the new trilogy. I kind of really fucking hated parts of it for sure.
Yeah.
But when I put my feelings aside completely and watched The Mandalorian, I just realized how incompetent every episode 7, 8, and 9 are, and just how they do this stuff, in general.
Like, there's a feel to Star Wars, and this show gets it, and those movies didn't.
Yeah.
Like, just the feeling I want from this stuff, of just like the way it's evocative, it just works here. Like, they just nail it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so they have the pilot. I guess also that the doctor, and they kind of ask him like if the child's still on board the light cruiser and if he's fine, and he's like, yeah, he is, or whatever. They go to, I don't know what planet it is, but they go to the place where Bo-Katan and I can't remember the other one's name. I don't know if I even ever knew it, but the one of the other Mandalorians in her party are and ask for help. And the running theme here is everyone they ask for help are like, fuck off, basically. And then he's like, they got the kid. And they're like, okay. Like every single one of them, Cara Dune's like, I'm not about that life. It's like, they got the kid. Okay, well, then she does the thing or whatever.
Look, everybody knows Baby Yoda is the most important thing.
Mayfeld was like, fuck off, it's a suicide mission, I'm not doing it. They got the kid. Okay, well, what we could do is like literally everybody is in this for the kid, and it's hilarious to me. It's hilarious to me, especially knowing what happens at the end of this episode, and just being like, do they just all like leave now or something? So we'll talk about that. So they ask for help, and I guess this part is interesting because Boba Fett is there, and there's this weird, like, pissing contest of, I hate you because you are a clone.
Yeah. Well, Bo-Katan, because, like, obviously recognizes him as the same kind of clone as the Stormtroopers.
Yeah. Yeah, they say something like, I've heard your voice a million times or something like that.
Oh, well, and I like that it's just, like, that's the way we get it. It's not, like, exposited or anything, but, like, we get that, like, that line. It's like, oh, yeah. I get it.
Specifically because she did fight in the Clone Wars. Like, the Stormtroopers now in this show aren't clones anymore. They're just, like, people that are enlisted. But, like, when she was doing a lot of her stuff, it was during the Clone Wars, so she would have heard that voice, like, so much or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's just something about, like, that he's not Mandalorian, he shouldn't be in that armor. He's like, this was my father's. You mean your donor or whatever it is? Oof, that's a knuckle biter. That was a harsh one. There's a mini fight.
The mini fight is so good. I just love the fucking dual flamethrowers that just, like, eat each other. Like, they just cancel each other out. That's definitely how fire works, right?
It's so stupid. Why do the Mandalorians love their fire wrists so fucking much?
You, like, put a little pressure on them and it just squirts out. They can't help it.
I really like that she does, like, this weird jetpack, like, diamond cutter wrestling move or something.
Yeah.
Where she, like, uses it to, like, get some momentum to, like, come down on his neck. It's so, like, fucking dumb.
Him onto a table.
It's good, though. Yeah, it's funny. And so I guess the big thing here isn't just the kid necessarily, but it's really the fact that they know where Moff Gideon is, and that's what Bo-Katan's going after, is him and the saber, the Darksaber. So that's really the thing, honestly, that, like, gets her interest. But, like, obviously they're gonna help the kid as well, because whatever.
There's a good, like she turns him down. It's like, you don't even know where he is. And then Boba Fett's like, come on, we don't need them. Like, the like negotiating, like working through that is good right before the fight.
Yeah, it's super good. And then there's, like, just kind of, I guess we'll call it, like, downtime where they're kind of all talking together on how they're going to attack the cruiser. They know, so the doctor tells them that there's a platoon basically of dark troopers on board, and they're droids now because the last thing that needed to be, like, worked out was the human component. Essentially, that was, like, the weak point of those.
I mean, to me, it's like,
dark troopers.
Oh, you worked the silliness out of fucking droids.
Yeah, that too, for sure, because they're, like, super scary, the dark troopers, for sure.
Like, there was a fucking droid army. None of them were come close to being as scary as one of these guys. Like, not even close. There's nothing in the droid army that's anywhere near that competent.
Yeah. Like, I guess the big thing here, too, is that there would have been hundreds of people on this ship, but now there isn't because there's not hundreds of people in the Empire alive anymore.
Yeah.
So probably just a small platoon, and that's kind of where he's like, well, there's also dark troopers, and they're like, okay, well, how many or whatever? It's like, I don't know, like a whole platoon of them because they're droids now, essentially. And they're in the cargo bay next to the brig, and that's where Baby Yoda is being held. Grogu. I don't know. Grogu. Baby Yoda's cuter, so I'm going to keep going with it. But
that's fair.
Grogu.
And also, they sent down 2 shuttles worth of stormtroopers who all got murdered last time they fought, so that probably adds to the lower number of stormtroopers on board.
Yeah, true.
And
so
all those stormtroopers that died at the end of season 1, too.
A lot of people are dying in this show, for sure. The plan here basically now is that they have the shuttle that they took the doctor from. They're going to pretend to still be carrying the Doctor as normal, but they're going to send out a distress call that they need to dock immediately or whatever because they're being chased. That's where Boba Fett and Fennec come in with the Slave One to kind of shoot at them and miss to make it look like they're trying to kill them or whatever. And then during this time, they will board by doing. No, Fennec is actually with them. I think they're going to board with the Doctor from the ship and kind of cause a huge distraction and go to the bridge to take out Moff Gideon, while the Mandalorian sneaks in to scoop up Baby Yoda and kind of close the bay door before the Dark Troopers can be deployed. Yeah.
Well, Pershing kind of just fucking vanishes from this episode after he explains literally where everything is. Like he's
I guess so, huh? Because I don't remember him.
No, you just don't see him again. There's no really, that isn't even, they don't even bother to explain, like, give a scene of like, why should we trust you? Why are you explaining everything? It's like, really? Oh, you're going to explain everything to us? Cool. That makes this easier.
Yeah. Oh, and Cara Dune wants Moff Gideon alive, and Bo-Katan's like, I don't really fucking care.
Yeah, she just needs to fucking beat him.
Yeah.
So
this is where it gets fun.
Yeah.
This is where the action starts, where Boba Fett is fake shooting at them.
Yeah.
Holding back, and they send out the distress call. Everything goes as planned. They send out the TIE fighters.
Yeah.
And you get this awesome scene of the shuttle just like coming into where the bay's opening, where the TIE fighters come out of, and they're like, hold your position or whatever. We need to get the fighters out. And then they just like drive right in.
Yeah, like this
smoke a bunch of
Star
shit.
The Star Cruiser has like a really cool fucking, it's like launch bay is right at the front of the ship. So they just get to they just dive bomb in the middle.
It's so good. It's equivalent to like, I don't know, like a bullet shooting into a gun barrel or something. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And that's kind of, it kind of just starts off the whole thing, but I love how immediately when like the ship comes in, he's just like, get the Dark Troopers out there or whatever. It's like no hesitation. It's like, we need the Dark Troopers now. I know this is bad because,
he knows how much of a startup time they have.
Yeah, they do. They have such a huge startup time.
You have to preheat the oven.
It's crazy. I guess like, so they took the human component out. All I'm saying is that human Dark Troopers would have been out there instantly.
Look, they're just getting their coffee, man.
Yeah, man. It is crazy how long they took to boot up and everything, though. So I don't know like how long in real time it is, but let's just say that they start booting up now.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about everything else that happens before they come into play. So, okay, I'm trying to remember how things go exactly. I know Boba Fett takes out the TIE fighters pursuing him or whatever, and he knocks it into hyperspace to get away.
Yeah, he just dips as soon as they're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like as soon as they've like crashed, they like skid in and they like kind of crash land, they open the door, they just come out, fucking blasters.
Shooting.
Blasters going, and it's Cara Dune, Fennec, Bo-Katan, and the other Mandalorian. And like they go out, they're going to the bridge to get Moff Gideon, and then Mando pops out a little bit later to be all sneaky to go get Baby Yoda.
Yeah. So there's a lot of what I call boring on rail segments for them where they're shooting dudes in a hallway, but they spice it up a little bit because Cara Dune apparently has the worst gun in the universe and it jams. And it's she has to use it like a melee weapon for a bunch of
She has like a Gatling gun blaster, and it's like not working. She just has to fucking hit stormtroopers with it.
So fucking stupid. But yeah, it's kind of cool.
Fixes it on like an elevator ride up.
That was kind of cool.
Like
how
smashing it on the ground a bunch of times.
And it powers up immediately as the door's opening.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was kind of cool, the timing. but man, that is a shitty gun. Holy fuck.
No, it's no good.
Real bad timing.
I love shitty guns in Star Wars. Just
it's pretty important, honestly. Yeah. So they're able to basically fight all the way to the bridge, and the Mandalorian probably leaves like a few minutes, maybe like 10 minutes after or whatever, make sure the coast is completely clear. Yeah. Just now the droids are just about powered up completely, and the door starts like opening. And he like kind of rounds the corners like, oh shit, or whatever, because he's late, essentially.
Yeah.
And one of the dark troopers, of course, like powered up first or was first in line or something, so he gets through, but the other ones,
like the doors are about to close. Stuck. He gets his hands in, and he can like open it enough so one droid
get out.
Yeah, he just steps through, but the rest are locked in there trying to get out.
Yeah, and they just like start punching the door.
Yeah, they're door punchers.
Yeah, the kind of scary part is that like they're getting pretty close the whole time because like apparently they're strong. Go figure.
I mean, they're punching like glass.
Yeah, that's true.
In this scene, like they're way better at punching the door later.
Yeah, they punch a lot of doors.
But I also, if like they punch that glass, still don't think they could fit through that door.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but maybe they could like get an arm out and open it or something. I don't know what they could do, honestly, but maybe they could do something.
They seem pretty rigid.
So he has to fight. Yeah, he has to fight one by himself.
One dark trooper,
and
it kicks the shit out of him.
It takes everything. That he has
it's so good. Anything. It fucking holds him up on the wall and just starts fucking punching his helmet over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, if he would not have Mandalorian armor, he would be so dead.
Yeah. I mean, there wouldn't be an over and over again if he didn't have the armor.
It's true.
Yeah, it would have been one and done, I think.
Fucking crushed. And then he fucking, like, uses his torch, and then it just looks cooler. Because then it's just full of fire.
Yeah, it just, like, does nothing to him because, like, well, it doesn't melt metal, so who cares? It's fire on metal. Like, who gives a shit?
It just, like, throws him around.
He uses his little, like, missile pack or whatever on his wrist. And
wastes it. He wasted a cooldown.
He wasted his cooldown. That kind of does nothing because, again, it's a like metal robot thing that doesn't have skin or feelings or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets thrown. He takes out his Beskar staff and just like does a cool little thing where he gets it in where like the Mandalorians themselves would be vulnerable into like its neck. And just kind of pops its head, essentially.
Yeah, his spear is like, cool. When he first gets thrown, it gets like thrown onto the ground. And then, honestly, it's the Dark Trooper just fucks up because then it like throws him to where his spear is. And then he gets it.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, it's a dumb robot. It's not like a tactical genius.
No, for sure. And then with that one done, he's able to open up the bay door, where the cargo bay door, and just kind of throw the rest into space.
Well, we'll never see them again.
Yeah, no problem. Nothing can live out in space.
These robots that can fly, they're out in space. They're all gone,
nothing
definitely.
Can live in space. They suffocate.
Can't breathe in space.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't fly in space.
So this is where it kind of goes back to the elevator and the Cara Dune and the gun.
Yeah.
And then, like, as soon as it works, just kind of like a Gatling gun down a hallway with a bunch of dudes who can't shoot. Like, you figure out what happened, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
and they get to the bridge and just instantly kill everyone there, too.
Yeah. The big thing here is that they realize Moff Gideon's not there.
Yeah.
Because then it cuts to the Mandalorian getting to the cell, taking care of the troopers in front of it because they're easy targets. They're nothing. enters it, and then Moff Gideon is holding the Darksaber to like Grogu's head, basically, and just the cute little handcuffs are back, and I love it.
I'm off. He's got like he like waves it back and forth over Grogu, and like he's like flicking it.
And it's weird because this conversation at first, it seems like Moff Gideon, like he knows he wants the kid, but it also seems like he wants the Darksaber, and he seems almost like weirded out when he's like, keep the sword, I just want the kid. It's like, oh, really? I thought you were Mandalorian. Like, it makes sense that you would want, well, okay, fine, or whatever. And it seems like they almost reach an accord, but of course that would be way too easy. And also the Empire lies all the time. So he's like, he's got the blood from the kid. He doesn't really care. Take him.
Yeah. It's like, I don't need him. And he like walks right and then like immediately just starts fucking wailing on him.
Yeah. There's a duel that ensues because of course. Yeah. And that duel is really fucking dope.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what you say. It's the Darksaber being used, and then of course Beskar and Mandalorian armor. That's pure Mandalorian armor that can't be cut by it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of the same thing we saw with Ahsoka and the Magistrate, like a couple episodes back, where there's just like his spear heating up a crazy amount, but not breaking through.
Darksaber's like cutting through the wall.
Just everything. Like
it's just like
everything.
It's just like heating up the spear, like the point where it's hitting it. It's like the spear's turning red, but not.
It's so
giving
cool.
Away.
It's so hard to talk about like how cool a visual thing is, though.
Yeah, it's another great fight in a show that's had a lot of great fights.
Yeah, for sure. So the fight happens. He disarms Moff Gideon and basically brings him to the bridge or whatever.
Well, I love
so
like
he comes into
he downs Moff Gideon, and then Moff Gideon's, oh, you're not gonna kill me. Oh, well, this will be interesting.
Oh, that's right.
He's so happy. He's like, oh, and this is like where I'm like, oh, Moff Gideon's a fucking great villain because he's stoked.
Yeah,
he just lost this fight, but he is thrilled.
Yeah, because he knows what's coming next.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's coming next. He's like, oh, you're not gonna kill me? Oh, fucking amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
So Mando
and also
the door.
One detail, he made Mando throw his blaster over to him, so he's like,
oh yeah,
he has that blaster.
Oh yeah, like hidden away in his cloak or whatever. Yeah. So Mando opens up the door to the thing, and he has the Darksaber in one hand and Grogu in the other, and just kind of like pushing Moff Gideon, who is now in handcuffs or whatever.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan looks at him, and you see kind of her face drop, or like looking kind of nervous or something.
Like, what did you do? Or whatever.
Yeah, what happened or something. And Cara Dune's like, what happened is the Republic's gonna have to pay double now or something.
Yeah.
And they're all like, ha ha ha, or whatever. And Moff Gideon's like, no, that's not what it means. She wants the saber, but it can't be taken from him or whatever. So this is stupid, and I'll talk about why in a second. The idea is that because Mando beat Moff Gideon in the fight and earned the saber, it's now his, and he cannot just give it to somebody. So he is now the rightful heir to Mandalore, essentially, in their stupid thing or whatever, unless like she wants to fight him to the death for it. Which like
he says, like, the sword doesn't actually have power. What has power is the story.
It's the story, the legend of it. Yeah, for sure. The reason why this is stupid is because I saw a video of, in the Clone Wars, her sister literally handing her the dark blade and saying, here, this is yours, and her being like, thanks, I accept. Like, oh, well, that's weird.
Oh. Oops.
And it's one of those things where I understand what they're trying to do here, and you could make the argument that it doesn't count if it's from family because it's like an inheritance now. Like it belongs in our family. Like you can write around reasons why that doesn't exist or shouldn't work.
Yeah.
But it's there and it feels weirdly like, oh, I can't accept this. It's like, but you did once. What do you mean? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. I
don't
that
know.
happened in Clone Wars. That's no good.
Oh, that's weird. It's super weird because I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I saw that and I was like, oh.
Oh, so Clone Wars is bad.
Oh.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, maybe. Again, you could make the argument that it was given to her by family.
Yeah.
And like, you're not going to fight family to the death. Like, there's reasons why this would be kind of okay, maybe. So that happens.
And
an
like,
alarm.
were there less witnesses for that happening?
Yeah. Well, it happened during like a celebration or something. So no. Considerably more. It seemed
nice. Like. Great.
Yeah, I don't know. You can find reasons to write around it.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels weird is the thing for me. Just
That's
feels
fair.
weird seeing that.
I mean, also, we don't get really a conclusion to that. So
we don't, because this is when an alarm sounds to see that the ship has been breached by something.
Yeah.
And you see all this stupid little shitty dark troopers.
How many life signs? Fennec is like, none.
None. Yeah, it's like, okay, it's like, I know what's happening now.
Obviously this had to happen.
So the dark troopers just flew back. No problem. They're all intact and all together in a platoon form, walking down the hallway.
Luckily,
and, get to
they
the door
like to walk in
pounding.
in 2x2 formation. So
yeah,
only two of them
useful.
are bashing down the door instead of like all of them.
Yeah.
Waiting in the line. They're waiting their turn.
I love that this whole time Gideon's just like mocking them. Yeah. Just like, oh, you had trouble with one. How about a platoon?
Yeah.
Like, you fucking asshole.
He's like, oh, you've got a great fighting force, but you know, at the end of the day, the only two people who are gonna live through this are me and the child. You're all gonna fucking die.
And this is where your comment of the blaster comes into play, because this is where he it falls on the ground near him and he covers it with his cloak.
Yeah.
And so because he's going to plan something here, so
yeah,
he's planning to do something with that. While the others all prepare to fight the impossible to fight machines that are going to literally kill them all.
It's It's Helm's Deep. It's their Helm's Deep.
Totally. Like, they're not going to win.
Yeah.
For sure. There's no way they could.
And then in comes Gandalf.
Yeah, so this part was we'll talk about it first and then I'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
So another alarm goes off that someone else is coming into the ship, and it is a X-Wing.
Yep.
This is where I immediately knew who it was. And I'm sure many people probably did. I wouldn't blame anybody if they thought it was like the Imperial dude from before or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they kind of showed that he's around in the not Imperial, sorry, the New Republic dude.
Yeah.
From before. Because they kind of showed he was around a bit, or like somebody else. I wouldn't blame anybody for not knowing. I was a little spoiled by hearing that Luke Skywalker was going to appear in The Mandalorian next season.
I hadn't heard that.
I don't even know if it's true, but it's like a rumor that was passed around, and that they are looking at a certain dude to play him. I don't remember his name, but he looks much like him or whatever.
Weird.
And so he comes in, and sure enough, I don't know at what point you would have to like not know it's Luke Skywalker, but they do a lot of little hinting at, like, it might be him for a while.
The thing
he
is,
walks like Luke with the
this
cloak.
show is too, like, it's not gonna fake you out with that stuff. It's too on the note. Like, if it's showing you it could be that, it's that. Like, in a different show, it could have been someone else, but because it's the way this show has worked, it's like, oh, it's Luke. It's definitely Luke.
Yeah. Especially when you remember
they start, like,
that 2 episodes ago.
They slowly start dealing out more and more details. Like, you see his fucking gloved hand.
His gloved hand. Well,
he has a green
I think the first thing
like,
you see is his lightsaber.
Yeah, his green
color.
lightsaber. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at that point, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's not many Jedis. Grogu reached out through the Force to see who was left of the Jedis. Like, you know it's a Jedi, first of all, as soon as the lightsaber comes out. And it's green, so process of elimination instantly is like, oh, it's Luke. Then you see his hand. It's like, yeah, it's Luke. And he's like walking by with his cloak or whatever. It's like, it's Luke 100%. Yeah. And sure enough, it's
and
Luke.
Like, who else was going to find them except whoever Grogu was calling out to?
Right, exactly. Then it's just like real cool. Oh, right. This is why people like were afraid of Jedi to the point where, like, so like in the Empire, because you actually can't do anything unless you like have a Jedi to face against another one.
So this is the thing about vibe. Like, this is pure vibe of the Jedi being fucking powerful and mysterious that, like, really completely went out the window in the prequel trilogy. And they didn't do it all in the new movies either. Like, again, like the one thing that's like it is when Darth Vader murders all those people at the end of Rogue One.
It's exactly that same vibe.
But it's also exactly Jedi that scene, version. Except he's murdering robots instead of rebel people.
I love it so much, though.
Exactly that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
It's like, I hate saying this because it sounds like some.
But it's also like this is easily
bullshit.
Like the coolest version of Luke, like post Return of the Jedi Luke.
Totally. Yeah, no, for sure. Because Luke, here's a secret.
Luke
kind of sucks.
He's super whiny. He doesn't become he doesn't become cool at all until Return of the Jedi.
And even then, he's real close to the dark side. Through most of Return of the Jedi.
Not wrong.
He is wildly inconsistent in how he deals with things and his emotions. This is the first time where it's just like, oh, he's full-fledged, like, Force-using Jedi.
Yeah.
No problem. Like, he's there at this point. And
I mean, this
like
is
I
like
was saying,
fully realized Luke that we, like, fucking never
saw.
Like, even like I've been reading those Star Wars comics Marvel put out when Disney got the license. All that shit takes place between New Hope and Empire, because you got to have Han, and you want to have the Empire, and because you want to have Darth Vader. So like none of that stuff has this Luke. And this is like easily the best version of Luke. So it's like really good to get to see it, even if like he ends up being like, you know, CG Luke.
I hate saying it because it's like millennial speak, but chills, absolute chills watching it. So fucking cool.
It's like the vibe.
And then they show his face, and he is CG Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah,
like younger Mark Hamill.
They do the thing they did in the prequel movies with the young characters. They just no qualms about it. They CG it. I do like the way they write him as super understated, because like you don't want that fucking CG character talking too much, but also that fits very well with like Jedi vibe that you want of just like saying a few things.
It works itself out. Like, thankfully, he isn't Sith that like to monologue.
Yeah.
Or like evilness or whatever. He's very quiet.
Yeah. Also, he crushes that one, the last Dark Trooper where he just force crushes him. It's so good.
Yeah. It's really good, yeah. it's kind of neat too, because like, I don't know the way. So this is just like really dumb nerdy talk now, but I really, really feel like the way the prequels show Jedi is they're kind of like floofy, airy, like a lot of moves and like kind of, I don't know what you would call like maybe dexterous or something. Yeah. And like the dark side's always kind of a little more brutalized or whatever. Like, because there's like anger and shit in them. Like Luke fighting his way through there felt kind of like a nice mix of both, where he like cuts through a bunch of them and just like takes them out with his lightsaber easily, but then he just like unleashes and crushes one of them with his mind, essentially. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's a nice balance of like, I am not fully like floofy Luke. I have some like still anger issues, and it kind of tracks too, where there's the whole story in the later sequel of him feeling that Ben was going to be evil, and him dealing with like, should I just fucking murder him now? Yeah, or whatever. Like, he's not a
like,
full
fucking Anakin
Jedi,
was
really
too emotional because he like formed attachments because he got trained when he was like 10 or whatever. And Luke was fucking like whatever, like almost an adult,
like 20s,
like
maybe younger, 16ish or something.
Yeah, like late teens. I don't know how old he's like supposed to be. Like, he's definitely feels written younger than he looks in A New Hope.
Yeah, it seemed so. There was actually a weird meme or infographic or something, and it seemed like all of the Jedi, when they like face their like mortality or like their where they're supposed to be or whatever, are 23.
Man,
like that's when Anakin kind of turns or like becomes evil. That's apparently when Luke is tempted by what's his face. It's weird, like specifically that age. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and also Luke kind of sort of didn't finish his Jedi training.
No, he totally didn't, for sure. He's by all rights, he's not an actual Jedi, but he's like,
but like there aren't any actual Jedi, and he can talk to ghosts of Jedi, so like it's pretty good.
Yeah, and maybe it's for the better because the Jedi were too far one way as well.
Yeah. Also, so the Jedi fucking were terrible.
Yeah, which people forget, I think. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like they didn't do enough of a good job in the prequel talking about. No. Apparently, they kind of get more into that stuff and some other things, but
yeah. I mean, the prequels are such a mess that it doesn't convey.
Holy.
Like, even if the idea is there, like the prequels are so fucking mismanaged that you can't tell it apart from just bad writing in general.
Yeah.
Of like, instead of like, we can't see any, like they like are just fucking wrong about everything and have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Like crazily easily manipulated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like even when Yoda's like, it's a bad idea to train this kid, they still fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking weird. Anyways, so Luke's here because he was called out too, obviously.
Yeah.
Also, Mando says, "Are you
There's
a
great scene of Baby Yoda like putting his hand up to the monitor as Luke's murdering all the robots."
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember like looking at Aaron and saying, "Look at his little paw."
Yeah, man, he puts his little paw on the monitor. Oh, it's so good.
It's really good. Also, it's around that time that Moff Gideon shoots at him or whatever, and Mando dives in front of the bullet because of course he does. He's impenetrable.
I think he unloads on Bo-Katan, and then he like tries to shoot Grogu, and Mando does a dolphin dive, and it's like, that blaster would probably be more useful if like not most of the people, 60% of the people in this room didn't have like fucking full body armor,
impenetrable armor. Yeah. Honestly, that blaster would have been better used turning it on himself so he can't like be captured or something.
He does try after that. He then tries that, and Cara Dune like knocks it out of his hand.
Yeah.
knocks him out.
He should have just done that first, honestly.
Yes, no, that would have worked. If he had done that first, he would have been able to do that much.
I'm gonna be real. That's what I thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to try to shoot the impenetrable fortress.
It's like,
but whatever.
Look, he has ideas, but he's also kind of an idiot.
Yeah. He is an evil character.
Yes.
So they're usually pretty dumb.
He's a fun. I liked him. He's a fun villain.
He was a fun villain. I mean, he still is. He exists still. So, okay, this is where I felt really, really sad. I'm not even gonna lie. There is this whole like, Mando's like, "Are you Jedi?" He's like, "Yes," and he's like, "Come, child," or whatever to Grogu.
Yeah.
And Grogu's like, "Nah." He's like, he doesn't want to go. He's like, no, he's waiting for your permission or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, like I almost wanted to cry. The whole like him taking off the helmet and like looking at him and just being like, it's okay or whatever.
Yeah. Grogu feels his little beard fuzz, his 5 o'clock shadow, touches his face.
Yeah. Oh, heartbreaking because it's going to be the last time we see him.
If fucking Mando hadn't taken his helmet off last episode, him taking off his helmet in this episode would have meant a little bit more, but you know.
It would have been way better if he hadn't before.
Man.
For like literally people that hate him.
Uh-huh.
Like it would have actually had this like he loves this kid so much that he needed to see him with his own eyes, and it kind of has the like same impact of when Vader was dying, he wanted his helmet off. Like there's kind of a theme of like take my helmet off or whatever as we see each other for the last time or whatever. It's so sad. I really didn't like it. Because you can tell Grogu's sad too, and when Grogu's sad, I am sad.
Also,
it's weird to me that he didn't give him the little ball.
The fucking balls.
What's that?
Of what Luke just taking Grogu away.
Oh,
that Baby Yoda is leaving. He's going away with CGI Luke.
Yeah.
To CGI heaven.
Yep.
Also, R2-D2 shows up.
Yeah, for no reason.
Well, I love when R2 shows up just because my headcanon is that R2 is like fucking swearing all the time. So like in my head, R2's like, yeah, what the fuck's going in here? Yo, is that a fucking Baby Yoda? What the fuck? This is fucking wild, man.
You just hear him down the hallways like, oh my God, look at all these bodies. What the fuck? Holy fucking shit. What the fuck happened here? Oh my God. R2-D2.
Yeah, man.
Like it's for some it's like one of those things where it's like they show R2-D2 maybe just in case you still didn't believe this is Luke Skywalker. Like, why is he? I'm not convinced. Oh, R2. Yeah, of course that's Skywalker. Like, yeah, now I believe it. Ugh. Oh my God. And then he walks away with Baby Yoda. And that's the last time you know we're going to see him. And it's the worst.
No.
And then it ends. And then it goes credits.
The balls of doing that. It's like just fucking credits because Baby Yoda's gone. And like nothing else real like Darksaber shit. Yeah, we'll get to that next season. This is where we're fucking leaving you emotionally. Baby Yoda is fucking gone. Like he's with Luke, he's fine, but he is out of your life.
You watched the epilogue, right?
Yeah. The epilogue is fucking dope.
Okay. So
but also it's like a commercial.
There is an epilogue. Yeah, it is a commercial for sure. They go to Tatooine, all right? And there is a familiar building.
Yeah, we're Jabba's palace.
Yeah, it shows the outside of Jabba's palace, and I was like, wait, what? And Bib Fortuna, who is the second in command to Jabba in the movies or whatever, is looking mighty chubby and
so
sitting
fat
on the throne.
It's so good.
He's sitting
like
on the throne.
And it's like literally he's got the Jabba set up including having a fucking girl in a bikini chained to right below him. He's just like complete fucking Jabba.
It's
fucking cosplay over here.
Yeah, he obviously took over the Hutt cartel, which is kind of like what they're showing, and then a familiar scene of a Gamorrean guard being shot on the stairways and Boba Fett coming down the stairs.
Well, it's first Fennec comes down the stairs.
Yeah.
And it's like complete it's like mirroring like when Leia comes in, sort of, I think. And she shoots,
that's what I felt too.
She like shoots everyone, shoots free the slave girl, and then Boba Fett comes down.
Boba Fett walks in
with only Bib Fortuna is still alive.
And it's so good because Bib Fortuna is like, Boba, we thought you were dead, and he just shoots him and throws his body away.
There's no fucking conversation here.
Just throws his body away and then sits on the throne while
and fucking Fennec just like goes gets a drink behind the bar, like behind the throne. It's so good. He fucking posed for their poster, and it's just like the Book of Boba Fett 2021.
And that's it. That's the epilogue. Is like, wait, is he like a bad guy now? What the fuck is going on?
When you freaking Boba Fett is on the game, he sat on the Game of Thrones,
and I guess it proves that they were there to help while the child wasn't returned.
Yeah.
When the child was returned to him and everything was fine, they left. Yeah. They have their own story now. I'm here for it.
Hell yeah. He had to get his armor back, and then he was gonna fucking take over the Hutt Empire. Fucking hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. Okay, so this was honestly, I can't believe they had the gall to actually end the Baby Yoda storyline. I thought that was going to go into season 3.
I just loved the nerve of them. The nerve of these people. Balls of steel.
So season 3 is confirmed.
Yeah. They've been filming it now or whatever, because they've film a year beforehand.
It must be it must be like the claiming of Mandalore, right?
It has to be, because he has the Darksaber.
And like a pissed off Bo-Katan.
Like our MacGuffin, Baby Yoda has left. Our MacGuffin is now the Darksaber. The Darksaber is like the plot driving object we have left.
Yeah. Man, I just don't know. Are they taking a year off as well? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Because Book of Boba Fett is airing this time next year. Does that mean that season 3 is not airing next year? Or are they both? Any idea?
I have no idea. Again, I just finished the episode, so I haven't read anything about anything else.
Okay. I'm just seeing here. So Book of Boba Fett begin December 2021. No confirmation as when a third season will be released, or if the reports of a third season were instead referring to the 3 spin-off shows. Oh, interesting. That's crazy.
Oh,
so on Investor
the
Day
Mandalorian might, like, the next story might be the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, because they didn't confirm that. So they confirmed the story will continue this year.
Yeah.
Or next year. They didn't confirm that the story would be season 3 of The Mandalorian. Holy shit.
Interesting.
That changes a lot of things in my mind. Okay. That makes sense now why they were able to end the Baby Yoda storyline.
Totally. Because you say, like, that's the Book of Baby Yoda. It had 16 chapters. And now we start the Book of Boba Fett as a different... That's fucking dope.
It is, but it's confusing.
Yeah. That's wild.
It's confusing in a way that I'm surprised Disney would allow for branding.
I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot about this show is wild for Disney to pull off, and only really makes sense to me when I think about like how fucking low the Star Wars brand was before this show started. Like, what a fucking nadir point that felt like with like people's interest in Star Wars content even.
That means there could actually be like a book of Grogu and kind of him training with Luke.
Yeah.
And like his story, because this actually, so the Mandalorian is literally the story of the Mandalorian himself. And if it kind of like the big things end, it can't end for him here though. That Darksaber thing is a huge, like maybe the book of Bo-Katan sort of like side thing. I could see that being something.
We could get a season of Boba Fett stuff, and then they come back to this like a year after that or something.
Man. So this is gonna get real dark, and I don't mean it to.
Or like they could put that other stuff in a different show, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like
a movie,
or like a storyline in a different show, even not like a show about that. They go the full like
I agree.
Fucking comic book crossover special. Bringing back Jar Jinn, and we're gonna fucking retake Mandalore after these other shows have been able to do their thing.
Yeah, that'd be fucking cool, honestly. So this is going to sound darker than I mean it to, and because I don't mean it to be like a downer or something.
Yeah.
But I always have in the back of my mind, man, I really hope I survive to see Resident Evil 8 or whatever. And that kind of keeps me going, where it's just like, there's things I want to like see before I die. And like this fucking show series and Disney have like extended that even more now, where it's just like, they could do so many things that I could want to live for another 80 years.
So
I want to make sure I see all of it.
It's also wild to me because, like, they had that fucking giant content dump of, like, these are all the shows we're doing. And yet this season still ends with, like, surprise, we're doing the Book of Boba Fett. Like, they still fucking had that in their pocket.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what else they have in their pocket. Especially, not even just for Star Wars, even though that's huge. Like, what do they have in their pocket for Marvel? Right?
Yeah, totally.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, that's where the story ended for us in season 2. So what are your thoughts in general?
What a good show.
Yeah.
I just fucking loved it.
Yeah.
I don't love CGI Luke, if I'm being real.
But
neither. Like, there's no way to get around that problem.
Totally, I agree.
And like the vibe was like, it was so well done that like I can live with it. But yeah, just like simple things of like them like the way that it looks when the TIE fighters launched in this episode. Like, just like the pacing of like the effects stuff. It's just so fucking good. It just like hits that part of my brain that likes Star Wars. That's like deep lizard brain stuff. And it just pokes it in exactly the right way.
Totally. Yeah, I totally agree. I want so much more.
And it does it without the original Star Wars music.
You're right. It doesn't use it like at all. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't use any music, and it's really good.
Its original music is also really fucking good, though.
It is, yeah.
Like the score for this show is fucking really good.
I will say, as an avid TikTok user and scroller, when The Mandalorian comes out with an episode, that's kind of all my feed is for a while, because the algorithm knows what I like.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick of hearing the like flute, the wood flute, like doo, 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 because it's used in every single one of them.
Yeah, I can see how that could get old.
So that's become a meme to me
of course,
in my mind. So every time every time I hear it,
yeah,
it's like, oh, come on. It's good too. That's the problem.
I know.
Is that it's a good music and good sound, but
it's like classic
used.
like character theme stuff, like for Mando. Like,
yeah,
just, he's showing up, he's doing something. We gotta fucking hit his theme music.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So the guy that it sounds like they're going to actually get this guy to maybe play Luke. Have you heard of Sebastian Stan?
Sebastian Stan. The name sounds familiar. I have to Google it to.
He looks like a young Luke. It's fucking weird. Like, he has the exact same face. He just needs to like change the hair.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if you like Google search his name in the Go images, I'm sure there will be a comparison with him and Mark Hamill.
Isn't that Bucky? I think that's Bucky.
Yes, it is. Yep. Doesn't he look weirdly like him? It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, he could easily play young Luke around that time. Not like young Luke, but like not between the Luke we know and old Luke.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they might actually give him a chance, which is cool. Because, man, CGI Mark Hamill is not the way. That is not the way.
No.
It was fine. You cannot do more than like a scene with that.
Yeah, no, you can't do a whole show like that. Like for your season finale where Luke Skywalker shows up in your show, like bring in Mark Hamill to voice act. Like, I'm fine.
Totally.
Like, yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah. If we're gonna get the Grogu training show or whatever, you
need somebody.
You need that person there.
What a good show. It's crazy to me how good this fucking property is. And it's not even, maybe it was when we started talking about this show, back in episode 1, I remember us saying like, this is the best Star Wars has been in a while or whatever.
Yeah.
This is legitimately the best Star Wars has been maybe since the original trilogy. It's in terms on the nose. Perfect.
Easily in terms of volume, like there's a lot of this show now.
Yeah,
and
true. There is a lot of it.
And like, there's good stuff in some of the modern movies. I don't think any of those movies like fully put it together. Like, but they certainly have high points. But like, this is so consistently good and like gets everything right. Like,
it's
there's
crazy to me.
Comparison. Like, honestly, the other Star Wars thing I love is in the comics, the Dr. Aphra character is really fucking great.
So I kind of don't count the comic, like for the Star Wars stuff, I count only kind of the television and movie stuff, because comic stuff is like, and book stuff is always going to be better.
Well,
because they usually have actual writers doing those.
Yeah. Because the thing with the like recent Marvel stuff, it's like it's kind of frozen in time, you know, because it takes place between A New Hope and Empire. But like, Dr. Aphra was like a new character they created who was just out of like really fucking great.
Okay.
So she definitely stands out to me.
I'll have to look into it, actually. So I just tallied up. Do you want to know how long this season is?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Total? It is 331 minutes long.
That's like 2 movies. Movie and a half.
Roughly, yeah. So this one season alone is that.
Yeah.
But if take out
fish guy.
It's 5.5 hours
Yeah.
for one season. And I like it because it's just so weird. Episode 1 of this, I'm only talking about season 2 right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Is 54 minutes. Episode 2 is 41 minutes. 3 is 35 minutes. 4 is 39 minutes. 5 is 47 minutes. 6 is 33 minutes. The last episode before this one was 38 minutes, and this one was 44 minutes. So they really just like take their time doing whatever they need to, and I love it.
Yeah. And they're still under an hour, which is also nice.
Yeah, super important for me.
Yeah.
Especially.
Like they're just like they're incredibly well paced. Like stuff is fucking happening in this show constantly. Even like it's like we'll have a quiet moment, but we're fucking keeping it moving.
Yep. For sure. I want more. I want more so bad. I'm okay for now for a little bit, but I am driven a little crazy that they took Baby Yoda away and they didn't do anything with the Darksaber or Mandalore itself. Like there's so many things that they didn't do.
So I want to say it's like, because people say like, oh, Disney dropped so many things. And it's like, yeah, but if those things are like 8-episode seasons, like they're not going to be putting out like 3 of them at a time. They're like trying to work up to like where they would have something kind of throughout the year. And like that's a lot of shows to do that. And they've put out 2 seasons of The Mandalorian in 2 years. They've put out like 8 episodes, so like they have space to fill.
It's super impressive.
Yeah.
What they've done here. Man, I just want more. Like I know it's super greedy.
Yeah.
But it's
don't
the way I am.
I know it can go wrong so easily. So I'm just like, fucking just take your time. Just make sure it's right.
Yeah. Yeah. I want I don't
want another Han Solo
comes back.
Which is like, it's fine, but it's also kind of fucking whatever. Like that's not what I'm looking for out here.
Yeah.
In the streets.
I want Bryce Dallas Howard to direct more of them. I loved her episodes a lot.
Isn't she getting a show?
Is she?
I think one of those.
She might be. That's great news. I don't know which, like, she'd be great directing any of them, frankly. I didn't look into who's behind a lot of stuff coming up. So I also just tallied up season 1. It was a little bit shorter. It was 5 hours and 26, or like 5 hours and a quarter rather, so 15 minutes. Rather than, it was 316 minutes total.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a little shorter, but they had more stuff to wrap up in this one, so I understand. Like, you know, the whole moving plot for the last 2 seasons.
I don't know, maybe I made up the Bryce Dallas Howard thing in my brain. And it's fucking impossible to search for Star Wars news because it's so, like, with that kind of like stuff that actually hits SEO, just like gets flooded with fucking garbage.
Yeah,
like Marvel movie stuff is the same way. It's just like, ugh. It's like Google is now fucking actually useless. Just like fucking garbage articles on nerd casting porn websites.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, they didn't do anything with any of them. Moff Gideon's still alive. They could do more with him.
Hell yeah.
I can't remember if Werner Herzog's character is still alive, but I like creepy German Werner Herzog. So
Who's so good. I honestly, Werner Herzog, he had like a quote about how great the Baby Yoda puppet was, and it was so good.
oh, that's so great. I love that he's
because they were because like it was like part of, and I think it was like response to them they were like thinking about doing CG. You're like, no, this puppet is magic.
Yeah. It single-handedly got a lot of people to fall in love with this show that don't like Star Wars. So,
and it
who
like
knows?
fed a lot of memes, which really is the lifeblood of Star Wars. Through good and ill times, the lifeblood of Star Wars is feeding memes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in for it. I'm here for it for sure.
That's what the prequel trilogy is best at. The thing it is best at
memes?
is memes.
True. Man, that ending. Fuck. So, I hope we get more Baby Yoda, but as of right now, I don't really have anything else to say about the series as a whole, except what an amazing time, and I'm so glad I was able to live through it.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts in general?
Just like the production is like the effects work in the show is so good. Like they did such a good job.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want fucking people in dumb costumes staring at puppets lovingly.
Yeah.
Pour it into my veins.
Yeah. Hopefully there's more of that. Maybe they'll find a puppet for Boba Fett to love. Who knows?
I can't wait for the check-in with the frog people.
Oh. Yeah.
And all their kids.
Yeah. Hopefully Fish
I
Man
can't wait till one of their kids gets his own or her own show.
Oh no, do you think they'll actually at some point have Teen Yoda? Teen Baby Yoda? Teen Grogu?
Grogu. I mean, they did Teen Groot.
Oh, fuck. The one thing he has going for him is that he won't get much bigger, so he'll still be cute and small.
Yeah.
But he'll just have an attitude that the kids love, and I hate it.
Maybe he'll turn into a teenager and then get turned into an axe, like Teen Groot.
Oh, we can only hope.
He gets forged into a powerful weapon.
I hope so. Well, that's going to happen either way.
Yeah.
I am a bit worried, though, because it's like, we kind of know who the big players are from the sequel trilogy. Where, like, does this go?
I mean, Baby Yoda's gotta get the fuck away from Luke before Adam Driver kills all of the people Luke trained.
That's the thing, is that he's gonna die in that fight, right? In that, like, massacre. That's why I'm like
99.9% sure his character is not gonna be there when that happens.
Maybe. I hope not. All I'm saying is that there ain't no fucking Grogu in the sequel trilogy hanging out, all right? That's what I'm saying.
It's true. But there was no Ahsoka either. So.
Yeah, she has to die somewhere along the line, too. That's the bummer, is that sequel trilogy made it so that all these characters I love at some point, like, aren't existing anymore.
I mean, or they're, like, you know, off the map. They're off the grid. Not in the...
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Or they got their own shit. It's like if you're fucking, you know, sometimes you're reading Spider-Man and like New York City comes under attack and it's like, where are the Avengers? Oh, they're out in space somewhere. They got their own shit. Maybe Grogu's got his own shit. Maybe he's fighting like Darth Maul's granddaughter somewhere. You don't know.
Yeah. That would be interesting. And honestly, I would want to see that rather than the stupid clone of Sidious that they've been working on.
Yeah.
Ugh. So dumb. All right. I hope we're talking this time next year about the cool new thing. So until then, thank you for listening. Hope you have been enjoying the show along with our talks about it, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.